How you feeling today, Mr. Jim?
Very tired. How are you today, Ms. Lindsay?
I'm tired, but I'm happy.
That's good. I'm glad you're happy because one of us needs to be cheerful. Today, that's your job.
Okay, I got it.
The age of power tools. Look at what's coming in the door.
Welcome to our house. Holy cow, Jim got organized. What are we doing today, Mr. Jim?
We're going to continue following the water damage upstairs.
Alright, let's get to it.
Yes, ma'am. As we walk down this second floor hallway, you can kind of see from the glare on the floor that it's flat up until that bump out on the left where the chimney comes up through the second floor. And you see there how the shine of the floor decreases. That's because that floor runs downhill from right about where that chimney bump out is over to the bathroom, and this doorway to the left that goes into a bedroom, and that doorway, you can see from the top, is a long ways away from being level. And as it comes across to the top here, you see that the trim has separated because this corner has sunk. So I'm going to go down to the first floor to start right underneath this and see if we can discover where the damage is so that we can jack this back up and properly reinforce it. This is the first floor corner directly underneath the second floor corner with the problem, and you can see the problem exists on the first floor as well. You see that section has sunk and separated at the trim. It's definitely not level across the top of the door jamb. Now, I have been down into the basement, and the floor trusses underneath this first floor, the bottoms of the floor trusses are level. They're flat across, so the problem starts here with this bathtub, which, as you can see from the floor, the mold, this has been wet. OSB has deteriorated so badly that it's going to have to be removed. This tub is going away. Right in here, we're going to start our exploration to find out how much rot we have in that wall and how much we need to do for repair to go up. This center wall is a load-bearing wall, and we've got to have that right. So I'm going to start taking this wall apart. Made some progress here. The old door frame is out, and when this was previously remodeled, I put half-inch sheetrock over the old lathe and plaster. I've taken off some of the sheetrock up here. This is the piece that'll come off next. And underneath it, you see the old style way of doing walls. These pieces of wood are called lathe. plaster is applied wet onto the wall, usually 3 courses of it. Well, here you get an opportunity to see some of the detail of the old lathe and plaster. See where it was applied wet to the plaster. It's squished back in between the pieces of lathe. See that plaster that's back in there? That was between the lathe pieces, and that anchored it to the lathe. 7/8 of an inch, almost an inch thick. It's lasted a long time. Since that plaster was put on wet, it was an invention to go to what's now called drywall or chipboard, 1/2-inch sheetrock we call it now, but originally it was called drywall because it wasn't put up wet, it was put up dry. It made building a lot faster. Well, we have to get to the structural problem that's actually in this corner, so I'm going to go to the other side and start taking that apart and see what we find. We're going to take out all of the old lead and galvanized piping that's in the wall, and what we need to get to is this area above the light fixture and then upward. So this is all going to come off, and just for the fun of it, I'm going to start off by just getting a hammer and giving it a good whack. Likes his original wallpaper was in here. She's interested in possibly replicating it. I got a chunk of it off in reasonably good condition, all things considered. And during that I found out this is actually not the original. This is the second wallpaper that was put on this wall back in the day. So I learned something about the top piece. Trim piece is actually not one piece of trim, but 4 different pieces. The back of it is the same as this trim along the edge of the door, and then it's got one more piece, you see here, attached to that at the bottom, and then the top has a piece here, that's on the end, but anyways, it's a piece of this wrapped around and then capped with this piece of 1-inch material. Use that as an example for the future. I want you to see why we don't want to keep any of the old wiring here. I'm just pulling this electrical box out, and look at the wonderful condition of the insulation on the wire. It's come away, exposing the conductor there. I can break that off with my fingers. And somebody wrapped probably some that's even in worse condition here with some black electrical tape. Anyway, we don't want any of that nasty old wire. Look back there, it's even, yeah. We don't want any of that in the house. So that all has to go away. All right, I wanted to show you something I found in the wall. This is part of the original house wiring, and this was at the back of an outlet box behind the trim that we were just taking out. So these wires came into the box and then to the outlet, and these wires are behind the box in the wall, and they're spliced, and that's illegal today. But back when this was put in, it was legal to do this because he used a special splice called a Western Union splice, and it could be in the wall by itself, and it was made in a special way. If you see, it's wrapped, and there's a special way that this is wrapped in on top of itself so that it can't pull apart, and then it's soldered, and then self-vulcanizing vulcanizing rubber tape is wrapped over that, and then a cloth insulating tape over the top of that. I took this one apart, kind of hoping to find a Western Union splice in there, and there you go.
Cool.
That was legal back in the day.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Will you tell me about knob and tube, like how it works? I hear about it all the time, and then it's bad. But what is this? What is this knob about?
That's an insulator.
All right, so the electricity comes into the house somewhere,
Yeah.
and then you just run it around with the wires, right?
Yep. At least 3 wires in it.
Right, we saw that earlier.
Hot, neutral, and a ground.
Right.
In the original house wiring, they only ran the hot and the neutral. They didn't have a ground. Well, this is just early electricity, so this is 10s, 20s maybe.
So this was the first electricity put in the house.
Yes.
And
This was put in when it was built. So there's one conductor and one neutral on that. I don't know.
You don't know which one.
know which one is which.
so these are
The 2 conductors that would like be in
okay,
here.
and there's no neutral. Gotcha.
That's
so it's
right.
those 2 wires.
Yes. Well, there is a neutral, or neutral and ground are essentially the same. They're just different paths to ground. They both go to earth.
And this is just to hold the wire, right?
Yes, and it's insulated so that if the insulating coating on the wire is damaged during the installation here to anchor it, it doesn't have any opportunity to
Okay.
go anywhere, in theory. We've opened this wall as part of the old gravity hot air heating system. See, it's been torn here by whoever was messing around with the tub and all that. It's pretty much a mess. But the concern now, and what we'll have to be careful of, is the exterior of this has been insulated with asbestos. You can see it's kind of peeling off here. Asbestos being hazardous for your lungs, you have to make sure that we don't generate any dust. Again, a good reason to be wearing a good mask and take a shower when you go home. So we'll go down the basement and see where this comes out. Yeah, this looks like it might be a candidate right here. Right up in the ceiling. Let's see how we are for distance. That is it. That is it. It just used to be further out into the room. See that? There's the bottom of the tub. And this duct used to come up. You see the square top, so obviously the decking up there has been replaced sometime. And this was disconnected. All right. Out of curiosity, let's go see what it is on the 2nd floor. Here we are on the 2nd floor, and you know, here it is. That's where that duct goes. It goes up to this register within the old 2nd-story bathroom. And that's right by the door. There is no way we're going to be able to run up to this register, so now we know we can abandon this. We have one extra antique floor register, just in case we need a spare someplace.
This is the top of the floor that Jim's working on downstairs. This is the spot that has the water damage that we're needing to explore in the walls. I think we're gonna have to take all the plaster off anyway, and the flooring, because we really need to make sure that this is sound and not rotted through from water damage. And as I'm standing here, we're sloping down this way, so might be some more damage shown than we realize. Tip I learned from Jim a long time ago is when you're removing something that's heavy, like a door, you remove the bottom screws first, the door can still be held up by you when you're taking the top screws down instead of falling over. It's good for women. I mean, I'm pretty strong, but I don't know if I'm strong enough to catch a falling door, or should. It's being held up there by one screw. So, do is open the door. Pick up the last screw. There I am. Pretty heavy, right? Down. Alright. Get started. I'm going to take this out, this out, this out, this out. This will probably have to come out. I'll leave this. Leave the rest. Alright, but this roughly is coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's going to take all day.
Oh, it's going to take longer than 1 day.
Okay, I'll get started. Oh my God. Someone put this in this house 100 years ago, before my mother was even born.
What you got?
Individual pieces.
Oh yeah, it's coming through.
Just gotta get one out, right?
Yeah, this one looks like it's got space. Let's do it here now.
All of these. I'll cover with dust. Okay, so this is the beadboard that's in the bathroom. It's tongue and groove. There's the tongue, there's the groove. But look, I can get it out all in one piece. It's all stuck together. So exciting! I can save it and reuse it. Woohoo! Wow, look at what Jim's been doing on the other side of the wall. There's my bathroom mess. In order to get this trim up, he has to remove the subfloor, which is also very time consuming, but look what he's revealed. The original wood floors. And I know you can't probably tell, but they look amazing. Amazing!
What I suspect we're going to find as we're getting down here is that the floor joists here on the second floor in particular are probably rotted along here, so there's been water intrusion.
Right.
So when we open this up, which we're kind of digging down to now, we'll probably find one of the floor joists that's funky and failed.
Okay. You think it's over here too?
Yeah. Spread that way out up over there, so leakage along here, which is accounting for the full sidings in this area.
Okay.
So we'll have to find out, and then we'll have to figure out how to get into the ceiling down from the first floor and up. We'll put in a hydraulic shaft, bring this back up, and then we'll put in some good wood. It's a project.
This is only one spot in the house, right?
This is the only spot, yeah, but it's, you know, you got 2 bathrooms stacked on top of each other here, and
Right.
the people were not careful.
Yeah, they weren't, but we'll fix it.
We're gonna fix it.